Perfect. There's the power generator. And let's realistically think it through. As good as the mech bay is, which is really, really good, we will need to have an excavation here in order to get to the satellite uplinks. So let's start with an access lift. Cybergenetic lab would be 40 more. Maybe after the next abduction mission. There is still one more abduction mission to come, and the corpse should be enough to pay for it. Maybe we're lucky and it's... oh, yep, we are.
We're tracking several reported abductions.
So that one here would be nice for the scientists, but it's also good to see that this wouldn't panic up. That was just the country where we just had the council mission. We do have very difficult for 200, and we do have additional engineers, which is also super tempting to go for, because that would offer us the flexibility to go for... so we have 14, we currently have 14 engineers. That would be 18. No, we can't do two. We just can't do two satellite uplinks. Then we need to have an additional council request for uplinks for engineers. Elsewise, we don't have 30 engineers in the second month. That's very, very rare. But I'm now thinking about, like, this year would be nice to go through. To reduce the panic in Europe, and which is already low, so both of the large continents, so to speak, would not be affected at all. Africa would still be clear, which is really, really, really a good achievement, and we could just let Brazil go, which means we take South Africa and Mexico. And then we would even have the option to either go into Africa. We have one spare satellite, that's for sure. The options are endless. I think I'm going for this one, although it's very difficult. Yeah. The engineers, man, they are so tempting. If this here would be engineers, I instantly would go for it. But I guess it's okay. So 12 sectoids, let's go.
Prepare for deployment. We'll be deploying to Russia for this one. Local government forces have reported.
Alright, okay, so that's an interesting map as well.
Solid copy, Big Sky. Strike one is clear.
Chances are there's going to be a meltdown here. There's one. There's another melt spawn back here. So usually I would go for the backyard, but we do have a squad side sniper, we do have a rocket, so we are equipped for, let's say, more intense fighting here in the front as well. Don't want to overdo it though, so let's try to not immediately trigger something.
Copy that. Heading there now. Affirmative, covering now. Hey, todo cubierto.
That's one option, but I think the more advantageous one is looking out here, because there's often a spawn here
Incoming signal from battle scanner.
Ah, there's the second meld. Alright. So, since he has 2 rockets, normally I would be a little bit more careful with the resources, but getting 1 rocket for 3 sectors at this stage in the game is really a good trade. The pack couldn't even activate. Which means for us that we can advance and we'll be pretty much okay. Maybe we even get both of the melts. I'll play Ironman Impossible, not created equally, and hidden potential. Other than that, everything else is plain vanilla. Hardest difficulty, no saving, and the challenge is really to lose nothing, like 0 soldier losses, 0 interceptor losses, etc, etc.
Got it covered.
Alright, so we would have 1 shot here for 66%. Maybe if we would move up, that might even better, because we have really a nice sniper. And I'm pretty sure it would be better because I can get rid of the cover. But first things first, let's kill this pesky sectoid. Now what we want to do is remove the cover, but since there is the chance of a rather large pack here, I want to keep it as moderate as possible. Don't want to go too much overboard with the vision range. Well, fortunately it just removed the cover partially. But I guess that's still good enough for our sniper, who just cleared out that sectoid. So 6 down. Yeah, training roulette is also quite nice. It can net some really good results, that's for sure. But it also increases just the RNG-ness so much more. And one of the things that happened here... Oh, there was a third one. Wow, lucky us. I didn't have this one on my radar, need to be honest. Okay. Now it starts becoming interesting. So that's a rocket for 2, but it's still worthwhile trying it. Because also the cover is removed quite extensively. Let's try to get this guy here with our sniper. That's a 100% shot. Good job.
Taken care of.
And I guess I don't like the half cover here. I mean, the shot is quite okay, but I don't like the half cover, to be honest. And there is no further pick that we could trigger here. Okay, there we go. So that's 3 pods down, which totals to 9 sectoids. There's only 1 more pod on the map, because it was a very difficult it was a very difficult mission. So I want the hardest. Can you tell me if is that Daruki, the hardest potential, I guess, the hardest potential challenge that you could take, but I'm not sure if this is doable, is all of the second wave options enabled. Then go for army of 4, which means you're not upgrading to 6. Do a 0 loss run and only stay with ballistic weapons. That's as hardcore as I could imagine, but I'm really not sure if this is even theoretically doable.
On the move.
Because I have seen a ballistic run. It required extensive usage of 2 snipers and disabling shot though, because many of the opponents needed to be disabled, and also some side training, and the guy lost really a lot of units during the time when he attempted it. But 0 losses plus all of these second wave options enabled. I'm not sure if there is just so much optionality then happening. Probably not possible. I mean, in here, just for the guys that are new to the channel, this is season 4, so to speak. We had 3 large runs, all of which contained either 3rd month. So we started with 6th month, then 3rd month, then 6 months again. And the reason why we failed in the instances where we failed was sometimes really awful RNG luck, both on micro and macro level. Either shots completely missing when they should have hit, or really bad decision making or game bugs. So I guess as much as you can reduce the RNG, it will be favorable for you, because that will just reduce the number of tries that you need to do. This here is game try, so that's season 4, and I guess game try number 60. With regards to XCOM 2, I'm pretty hyped about it. It is such a nice game. The only disadvantage for me personally is I really want to do the challenge. So at the 5th of February, I'll be torn in between finishing this challenge here and going for XCOM 2. I know that most of the viewers probably would appreciate going for XCOM 2, and I fully understand that, by the way, because it's a new game. On the other hand, I put a lot of effort and strategy into this challenge here, and I would really want to see it being successful. So, yeah. So they are definitely inside of this house. I'm taking some aiming angles now. We have all of the melts, so no need to kind of hurry up too much. Instead, I'd like to see where they are.
Position confirmed.
Probably a little bit further on this side. There's no more cover here. Let's use the second battle scanner just to make sure we know where they are.
Scanning target area now.
Yeah, it's not about only the shots with 80%. So here's my strategic advice with regards to shots. Of course, you will miss a lot of 80% shots. That's just nature of the game. But you need to always try to strategize around that option. This could theoretically happen. Like often, there is the solid chance of you completely hitting like this 86% shot. But what if that would happen? If that would happen in my situation, I'll just end the turn because the pod's not triggered. And I'm trying to not get into situations where I, even if everything else fails, I would be screwed. And I'll give you another example of what I mean, okay? So here we go. This guy is jumping into the inside, and he's going to use his grenade to clear out all of this. Now, you will probably see that if we're now going in, there is a solid chance of this guy here to still blunder and completely miss it. Of course not if I'm running up right into his face, then it's a 100% shot. But I was aware that he is still having a frag grenade, so in case like things would go sour, I would still have the frag grenade. And that's a very easy example, but it should illustrate that you should have a plan B, and the situations really get sticky if your plan B also screws up and then you try to go for a plan C. And in this case, sometimes, or at least in my games, the game mechanics, or knowing the game mechanics, might help you to survive. Like knowing how the AI normally reacts. I'm also trying to quote-unquote teach this or say this here on the stream, what the normal AI movement is. And if you know that, you could even plan around that to a certain degree. But of course, RNG is definitely a part of the game, I can't deny it. We just earned $260 or whatever it is. So I guess the cybergenetic lab is a thing. Let's start the construction. Since we are solo on power, here's the idea. I definitely need to go for a second power generator plant. Might look a little bit silly to build them here and here, but the reality is until I have moved through all of the steam, that will be 5, 10, 15 days. Then I need to build the generator here. That's another 5 to 8, and then I could only start the satellite uplink. So thinking ahead for next month, where we want to go for a satellite uplink rather quick, I definitely want to be able to support it with enough power. Right, so that's 150 credits, and I'm tempted to use them. But I'm thinking for what would be the best choice now. Officer training school, definitely, I'd like to go for it. But the officer training school probably will be here. Yeah, probably here. Or even here. So kind of having this one generator here, and that's about it. So that could be the officer training school here. But that will take a couple more days. So, reward 4 engineers for 2 nanofiber withs. Please, thank you. That is a very, 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 very nice trade. If I could trade 26 cash for 4 engineers, I would do it every day of the week. Now we are at 18. That's nice.
Always glad to have more help down here.
No, I don't sell everything always. I'll usually only in the first month, because you are fighting an uphill battle. You definitely want to get your base going as soon as possible. I need to go through all of these excavations, for instance. So that usually takes a lot of money. But after that's done, I'm trying to be a little bit more conservative. And specifically in month 3 force following, it's not worthwhile to sell everything. You need to be selective. But I can go through it once we are in month 3 and explain it a little bit more.
Satellite is prepped and standing by for launch.
Alright, so power generator will be done in 2.
Power generator complete.
Okay. That's good. Still the excavation. The next workshop will require 15 engineers. And it will add 5 more engineers to our staff. So with this, we could even go for 2 satellite uplinks next month, I suppose. But I don't know. I mean, we still need the OTS as well. And our base building is a little bit screwed up because we needed to go for the generators on the left and right hand side. So I guess OTS will be somewhere in here. Need to upgrade our squad more because we are falling a little bit too far behind elsewise. Alright, so that's the satellite uplink. Now we are going for the launch satellite. So the one thing that's clear is we want to save all of the countries that are endangered. Alright, so now let's think it through. We are okay on money, so I'm not concerned going into a 3rd continent with regards to interceptors. I could go for Canada, but I'm not afraid for an abduction mission here. Because guess what? There will be that will be easy to reduce the panic here. There is also the Newfoundland mission in month 3, which will specifically hit Canada. So that's probably not worthwhile. I am interested in going into Africa and get this as our next continent for the 30% additional funding, and reducing Egypt further. Definitely would be interesting. These here are okay, so maybe I'll just do it and go for Africa. Question here is, since Egypt is anyways like super panicked, that's a high chance that they will be target of an abduction mission. So maybe I'll just let Egypt pass. Go for Nigeria with my satellite, which will reduce it to one panic, and then let's just let them hit Egypt, ignore it, and that way we will be forced to launch another satellite here in the next month anyways. Yeah, that could be a strategy, or the other strategy would be 2nd month means we only have 3 satellites because the next satellite uplink is
nothing to report at the moment.
The next satellite uplink will only give us 3 more capacity. So why? So that will only be 100 more income, and we are okay on cash. So I'm considering not to launch the last satellite, but give us the chance to launch 4 in the 2nd month. And I guess I'll go for this. Might sound like a terrible play, but believe me, I've been screwed so often in the 2nd month for only having like the option to go for 3 satellites. Season 2 completely blundered due to this fact. Okay, let's go for it. Council report. Solid A. We shut down the UFOs, stopped 2 abductions, satellites, research project. Yep, that was okay. Also the monthly reward is fine. I like it.
Remember, we will be watching.
So let's shortly consider our odds, options, etc., etc. We definitely now want to get more interceptors. We are in South America, so let's take 2 further interceptors here. That's fine. That'll be enough. The strongest UFO in the 2nd month is the medium one. 2 interceptors are always enough to do that. We want to build a couple more items. I said that we are going for satellites. So 1, 2, 3. One is still in our possession, so that would be the additional 3 satellites. and we want to go for a satellite uplink.
I'm guessing they have something else in mind.
I'm already constructing that in advance. I know that we could wait a little bit more, but I felt going for it right now would be beneficial. So now we're just a little bit short on the next power generator. I guess I'll build it just to save some more time. Elerium is not important at the beginning until month 3, where you start to need it. It's much more important to get your base going. So we now have the power generators. Here there will be the OTS, Officer Training School, and the Foundry quite soon. So these 4 are workshop based. This will be the next satellite uplink, and here is going to be our next power plant. So that's progressing quite nice. Let's continue.
The soldiers who volunteer for mech trooper augmentation sacrifice much.
Let's see about our mech trooper. We have 4 really nice soldiers, and I am a little bit tempted not to put anyone into the mech suit. And we do have her, who is our reward. She has good hit points, she has a terrible aim, she has good willpower, but she will not progress well in aiming while being a heavy, but she will progress much better in aiming while being a mech. So I guess that kind of naturally promotes her for amputation. I'm sorry, Mama Bear, but you will lose all of your limbs.
Implant our soldiers with the cybernetic interfaces they'll need to deploy these mechs onto the battlefield. We'll consult with Dr. Valen for the requisite amputations and begin installing the cybersuit interfaces as soon as possible.
Now we just need some more missions. And the game is helping us out.
The locations are marked on the hologlobe.
See, I mentioned that Egypt will be probably a target, because the higher the panic, the more likely they are going to target these locations. So I'm delighted to let it pass through, or because we want to go to Europe anyways. There is a very difficult mission for engineers, and there is a very difficult mission for scientists, both in the large continents. So both of them are potentially good.